everyone, Jess here, and today I'm joined with Balkiz Sarihan. Thank you so much for joining me today.
A pleasure.
So, firstly, how would you summarise the transformative potential of advanced air mobility? Because it's pretty hard to understate what this is going to mean.
It is. I mean, fundamentally, if we think from an inspirational perspective, I always like to say you're adding a new mobility layer to a city. So it not only has the potential, and we have to keep this in mind, the potential to change the way we live our lives, but then even down the road, the way that we are designing our cities, right? Allowing for more green space, allowing for more distributed living, allowing for less infrastructure, so a much more open concept. And we see this in play where there are cities that are very much kind of greenfield or brownfield cities, and they have the ability to take this into their design concept from day one. Or even in some of our older cities, some of the oldest cities in the world where they really want to introduce green spaces and different kinds of collective living. And here, removing some of the infrastructure and giving an air connectivity option, because that's what we're doing. It's an option, it's a choice, then opens up all kinds of possibilities. And this is the inspirational, exciting part of it.
Absolutely. And like you say, there are some places that are potentially infrastructure-wise and geographically better suited to this transition. What stands out as some of the major challenges you foresee when it comes to the broader ecosystem here?
I think part of it is there is a great degree of excitement, which is wonderful. And we have to temper that with some patience. Because first and foremost, we have to ensure it is safe. We are carrying people in urban environments. There is no compromise, there's no competition on safety. So unless a product is ready, technologically mature, and approved by our regulatory agencies, so in Europe, we will be EASA certified, then we don't get to take that next step. And this is just the simple reality of it. And then afterwards, it's a choice between which use cases are the most important. Do we imagine that in some remote places an ecotourism application could be interesting? So people on vacation are experiencing a unique perspective of some of nature's most beautiful places without causing, again, any need for infrastructure. In some of our more crowded cities or some of our more remote communities, our focus is on medical services, right? Being able to deliver first response, emergency services, medical equipment and medical resources to these remote communities. So when you have matured the technology and certified it and make sure it's safe and all the things we talked about, then the applications are really limitless.
Absolutely. And like you say, making this happen is going to involve a lot of different players. So you've got the infrastructure side, you've got the tech side, you've got the regulatory side. How can we facilitate collaboration in this space to accelerate this as much as possible?
You touched on it. The first place is regulations. Everyone, whether it is an OEM, an operator, an infrastructure player, wants to have a consistent set of regulations. And not only in Europe, so we as Airbus will be EASA certified first, but just like our other products, we will go into the US, we want to go globally, similar to the rest of our commercial aerospace products. And this means that we work together to help our home regulators write the best regulations, and then we foster collaboration actually between the regulators, because this only benefits the entire industry and ultimately the people that we want to serve.
Fantastic. And of course, Airbus has had a really exciting year with all of this. I think it was your debut last month now in March, and you're scheduled for the maiden flight voyage later this year. Yeah. So what else is happening this year, and what's the plan for the next 5 years?
For us, we called it, and colleagues coined it, we call it making it real. Right? So we didn't build a mock-up, we didn't build something that was representative or just a cabin or anything. We said, when we're ready, we show the actual aircraft, and we did. And it was a wonderful moment. She's not perfect, it's not all shiny, you see the nuts and bolts, but you really see what it takes to put an aerospace product into flight. And then we fly, and then we learn, And this is the continuous learning process. So now it's maturing the aircraft. In parallel, we mature the technology. So we do a lot of investment in battery technology, distributed propulsion. This is some of the things, that we don't get to see a lot behind the scenes. But all of this needs to happen in parallel so that as the aircraft architecture evolves, then we always make sure that we are delivering the best performance, the best interface for the people in the end, and then, of course, the best safety standards. So it's always this almost cumulative effect that is always going on for us. It's a pretty exciting time.
Well, it sounds like a fascinating time. So thank you so much for sharing your insights today.
A pleasure. Thank you so much.